Jim?
It's Jim's.
Okay. Yeah, okay, Jim. Okay, he's recording. Go ahead, Kathy. Are you on mute, Kathy? You are on mute.
Yep.
Okay.
I am on mute. Okay. So my proposed idea was to kind of along the lines of what you're saying, like within the interest groups, create these subgroups for larger like operational systems. Because I know voting has been brought up as an issue, communication. There's been talk of a membership dashboard, which Patrick and Tim and Phil are interested in starting. And through them, they wanted to call it like a membership site working group. And my idea for that was to create like a general working group. I don't know if that's a correct name for it or something along those lines. Just kind of not to oversee, but help the working groups that are there kind of come together. And my suggestion was to hold a bi-weekly meeting with either a scribe from each working group and kind of record like the issues and their progress of anything that has progressed from like their milestones or kind of what they're trying to implement so that things aren't duplicated. And if people are interested in that process, then they can reach out to that head of the group, and through either this forum or like general communication to relay that message of what's going on with the working group so that people feel like a system is being implemented and that there are ways for them to help out. So that was my proposal. I've tried to talk to the different people interested in like heading up those subgroups and kind of see if they would take that on. I made like a formal proposal that I would like to bring to the exec committee. And I've shared it with a couple of people just to get some comments, but I'm planning on posting it today. And I guess the best way is through the exec Discord channel. Because I would like to help kind of like put in place operational systems, but I don't want to just do it without it being the best path forward for what the co-op needs, and just kind of make sure that everybody that is implementing a system is talking to each other so that it's more of a cohesive process.
Yeah, I completely agree. So, yes. Anybody else have comments?
I do. Wait, Lawrence, go ahead.
So this, well, thanks, Kevin. This is one track of it, I guess, and maybe the answer is we're going to create a working group for vote. How do we vote? How do we record votes on issues and things of that nature? And if that's the answer, I would love to see, I guess, a map or just a list of all of those so that we know all the things that we want to do are being approached to the executive committee, and then the executive committee, over time is sanctioning these different working groups so those issues are being addressed, and there's a hopper or a list of them, because I would absolutely like to participate in some of them. And then it raises the question, why do we need this meeting if we're going to do all of those?
Well, we need to get it kickstarted, right? But
fair enough, and I'm happy to help, right? I like everybody here, I have a very vested interest in making sure that we're continuing to rock.
Okay. So Kathy, does that sound like a general plan? We'll use this meeting to get you to coordinate the process moving, and then as soon as the process is well understood, this meeting can conclude?
Yeah, I think that makes sense to me.
Perfect.
And even if this meeting was just held like once a month just to update people in case they need like a channel to go to.
Or a recording that we can post.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe, and actually maybe do it, I don't want to say oversight because I hate that, but where all of these working groups give like a stand-up style update, and then we can do it to the membership and maybe, to your point, record it so that everybody sees, okay, here's 6 working groups, boom, boom, boom. And that, I think, is a great, I want to do it from a marketing and PR standpoint, but it's also good for the membership.
Hey, just wanted to chime in on, excuse me, something that Lawrence had mentioned earlier, which was sort of the just assuring that we're in alignment with what the cooperative wants as well. And so there has to, I think there should be at least a conversation at the perhaps executive committee level where we're discussing sort of what the needs of the cooperative is and making sure that they're being executed by these working groups. And so a lot of it right now, and just, you know, for lack of a better word, a lot of it is, or terms, a lot of it right now is sort of bottom up, right? And so there's been a lot of gap identification coming from the membership, understanding that, you know, perhaps we need a logo or perhaps something else needs to be done. And so the membership is very quick to take initiative. There hasn't been as much coming top down. And again, for lack of a better term, but I just really want to make sure that we're bridging the gaps between, you know, what the co-op needs in terms of strategy and how these working groups can then execute on it.
Yeah. So I think, Kevin, the role of the quote top is not to make decisions, but to delegate decisions, I think. And then Kathy, correct me if you have or anybody, if I have a different understanding.
I would say, you said earlier, delegate responsibility, not delegate the decision.
Yeah, delegate responsibility, but there's, you know, if you've got responsibility, you're going to have to make some decisions too.
And as much as I hate, well, and I don't because I keep bringing it up, a small RChain chart around that says if the executive committee gives you responsibility and accountability, you will do it or you won't get paid and you won't get approved, you know, for the co-op to execute upon. And maybe that's what this group can do over the next month to get all of those processes done and then distribute them for approval and moving on.
And Kathy, are you familiar with the RChain model?
Sorry, can you repeat that? I try to move to a place with better internet.
So Lawrence was discussing a particular model for accountability. I think it's like responsibility, informing. It's an acronym, RChain. Yeah, consulting. Yeah.
Accountable, consulted, informed. So who on the chart is responsible for doing the work? Who needs to be consulted? So for example, we go for a legal matter, we get our in-house counsel who gets consulted and says, you can do this, you can't do that. And then informed, you know, at some point all of the membership gets informed, but we also may want to get an opinion from a specialist within the organization who can opine on it, or at least needs to know.
Yeah, that makes sense. And that was also in my proposal to kind of map out these systems. And I think that is a great approach to figure out who's doing what and top, like you said, fill in all those gaps.
So the next exec committee meeting is tomorrow. And you said, Kathy, you're going to try to have your proposal ready for that?
Yeah, I can post it later this afternoon. I sent it out to a couple of people just to get their feedback, and I'm just going to make sure I have all their comments in, and then I will I'll post it.
Great. One thing I've noticed just from my own personal experience with getting feedback on documents, just get it out there as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Agreed.
Fix it as you go. Like, it doesn't have to be perfect. Just get it out there.
Have to be perfect. Yeah.
Well, great. Jim, Lawrence, Kevin, do we have anything else we wanted to go over?
No, I think this was good. So I would propose that the agenda for the next couple of meetings is based on what Kathy proposes. Let's review it, break it out into tasks and activities, things that we work through, and work backwards, just nominally, let's say the end of March or the first week of April, to get all of them done, agreed upon, and then ready to present, reviewed, done, and maybe we can do it in a community meeting, and we go from there, and then call it a day for this group and thank everybody for all their service.
Sounds great to me. Kathy, can you own the agenda?
Yeah, so I actually Jim gave me access to the Google Drive that this governance group is on. And I started a folder for meeting agendas so that I could post kind of the thoughts, and then people, if they needed to see a particular item, could go in there and add to it. So,
who owns the calendar invite for this particular meeting, or did everybody just set it on their own?
I think Jim does. Jim, do you
Yes.
own the? Yeah, I think you do.
I think there's several owners in the calendar. Am I on mute?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, that's right. You're right. You did set up several owners. So yeah, I think I also can invite others because I think I invited Lawrence.
Yeah,
Right.
it's the RChain public calendar that has many people from Pyrofex and the co-op with admin permissions.
Perfect. Yeah, just drop your agenda link or whatever you want to do in whatever particular meeting, so then we can see it on the calendar, and that'll help keep us on task.
okay. I do have a question, because some of the people that were on that initial call before this was like the official working group, we had tried to schedule a weekend meeting just to see if we could get some people from Europe interested, because this time frame was weird for them. Do you think it's better to approach it as everybody comes here, or can we move this meeting to, say, a weekend? Does that work for people on this call?
Yeah, I mean, you can absolutely call a meeting for whenever you want, but I think people are going to show up when they can show up. So if it's,
Right.
for example, I probably wouldn't be able to show up on a weekend, but that's okay.
Okay.
Okay, I just thought we should review where we are with the governance working group. Okay, tentatively, the group was set up with Kathy Henderson as the scribe. The sub-working groups, as of now, that were determined from our previous meetings, the membership site, Patrick, voting, Jake Gilbert, principles and values, myself and Karen, branding, Peter Mormon, and breeder, Amika Ebage, however you say it. To participate in any of these activities, I guess contact the guide for those groups to participate.
Great. Thanks, Jim. And can you post this or send this to Christian to put up on YouTube?
Sure.
Great. Thanks, everyone. Anything else?
Nothing for me.
Cool. Bye.
All right, everyone. Thanks.
Thanks.